God wishes to bless his children, and we need to realize that. So when we are dealing with the children of God, and we want to do the will of God, we must find ways to bless the children of God. Of course, that brings up the point, who are the children of God? So I'm going to explain who the children of God are by explaining who the opposite are. In Ephesians chapter 2, it says, "And you he made alive, who were dead in trespasses and sins." You were. You were dead in trespasses and sins, meaning you were trespassing against God and you were sinning against God, and therefore you were dead, in which you once walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit who now works in the sons of disobedience. So when you sin and you trespass against God, you are not only dead, you are walking according to the course of this world. You are walking according to the prince of the power of the air. You have the spirit who works in the sons of disobedience working in you. You are not a son of God. You are a son of disobedience. A son of God is not a son of disobedience. It says, among whom also we all once conducted ourselves in the lusts of our flesh. Used to. At one time, we used to, but we do no longer. Fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature children of wrath. Children of disobedience are also children of wrath. Are we children of wrath? If you are a child of God, you're not a child of wrath. You're not appointed to wrath. You're not going to suffer wrath. Even if wrath is happening all around you to everyone else, it will not touch you. So it says, and we were by nature children of wrath, just as the others. But God, who is rich in mercy, because of his great love with which he loved us, even when we were dead in trespasses, made us alive together with Christ. By grace, you've been saved. So, but the fact that you've been saved by this grace means you no longer sin. You no longer trespass, transgress. You no longer have that spirit that is working in the sons of disobedience working in you. You do not disobey God. If you are a son of God, you do not disobey God. You're not a son of disobedience. And if you are disobedient, you have to ask, am I really a son of God? Because God the Father says that he gives good gifts to his sons. You're part of a family. And maybe you don't know what it means to be part of a family. I mean, really part of a family. But when you're part of a family and you have a father in the family, you obey the father in the family, and he also gives you good gifts. And you say, yeah, but it's not because we obey. Then you get into all this garbage that you need to stop arguing about. You need to just be part of the family. That means obeying your father. And stop arguing your way out of obeying him. Because when you are disobedient, like I just said, that's the spirit of this world, which works in the sons of disobedience. You're not a son of God. You must be obedient to your father. If you are a son of God, then you will want to be obedient to the Father, and you will be obedient to the Father. And the Father, if you really are a son of God, the Father gives you good gifts. He doesn't give you bad gifts. He gives you good gifts. He doesn't withhold gifts from you, what you need and even what you want. So when you're praying and you're finding your prayers are not being answered, you need to ask yourself, am I a child of obedience or am I a child of disobedience? Am I a child who has a Father in heaven who loves me, whom I love and I adore and I want to obey? Or am I a child of disobedience who finds excuses for not obeying? And I am disobedient and I'm still walking around in my lust and I don't care. And I make myself believe that God doesn't care, when God in fact cares. Of course he cares if you're obedient or disobedient to him. Are you joking? Have you ever read the Bible? Because if you think that way, you've got to stop going to church. Because whatever church you're going to is apostate if they're feeding you that garbage. You need to stop going there. You need to stop listening to those Christians who are trying to persuade you of those things. And just read the Bible. But start with the gospel. Start with the gospel. Take our 40-day Jesus challenge, which is in the link down below. We put it in each description now. It's on our webpage for therootedword.com. That's where our translation is, live translation. So as we translate more, we put it up there. As we make a translation more specific, more perfect, we put that up there. And so you can watch it as it's being translated. But we also have these other pages up there you need to go read. There's one on the Old Testament. There's one on holiness, righteousness. These are really treasures. You've got to go read. But the 40-day Jesus challenge, you've got to do that. And once you've done it, you've got to live in the gospel accounts the rest of your life. You have to keep it here in your mind. So, are you a child of God? Or are you a child of disobedience? That's up to you. May the Lord bless you as you seek him with all your heart.